What's going on, everybody? Ryan Thompson, the Assumable Guy. This is the Assumable Guy Show. Last episode, I promised you we'd get into your escrow account, so here it is. This one's for the sellers. When somebody assumes your loan, what happens to all that money sitting in your escrow? Quick answer, it's your money, and a lot of you are about to leave it on the table without even realizing it. Stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to make sure every dollar comes back to you. Here we go. Let me back up and explain what escrow even is, because half of you have been paying into it for years and never thought twice about it. When you got your mortgage, your lender didn't just collect your loan payment. They also grab a chunk every month for your property taxes and your homeowner's insurance. That money goes into a separate account, the escrow account. Then when your tax bill and your insurance bill come due, the lender pays them straight out of that account for you. So you're not scrambling to cover a giant tax bill once a year, right? It gets spread across 12 months. Pretty smart system, really. So let's put real numbers on it because this is where it gets real. Say your property taxes run $3,600 a year and your homeowner's insurance is around $1,400 a year. Add those up. That's $5,000 a year, which works out to about $417 a month, getting tacked onto your payment and dropped into escrow. And here's what people forget. That account carries a cushion. So at any given moment, you might have $2,500, maybe $3,000 just sitting in there, your money you already paid in. Once a year, the servicer runs what's called an escrow analysis. If your taxes went up, they bump it. If there's extra, they cut you a surplus check. So the balance moves around a little, but at the moment you sell, whatever's in that account is yours. Now here's the fear, and I hear it all the time. A seller finds out a buyer is going to assume their loan, and they go, wait, the buyer's taking over my mortgage, so they just get all my escrow money too? That $3,000 is gone? I'm handing a stranger my tax money, right? That's the panic, and I get it. It feels like the buyer's stepping into everything you've got, escrow and all. Here's what most people don't realize, though. That escrow money does not disappear, and the buyer does not get it for free. It is your money, and you get it back, every dollar. I want to make this super clear because this is the exact part sellers miss and it costs them. Your escrow balance is taxes and insurance you prepaid. When the loan changes hands, that balance comes back to you. The only real question is how it comes back. And that's where you need to be paying attention. So there's two ways this plays out. Let me walk you through both. Way number one, the clean way. The buyer reimburses your escrow balance right there at the closing table. So that $3,000 sitting in escrow, the buyer brings it to closing and it goes to you as part of the deal. The account stays funded, your taxes and insurance keep getting paid without a hiccup, and you walk away with your $3,000 in your pocket that same day. Done. Nobody's chasing a check in the mail. Way number two, the servicer refunds it after closing. In this version, the loan servicer closes out your escrow account once the assumption is final, and they mail you a check for whatever's left. The buyer funds a brand new escrow account on their side, you still get your money. But here's the catch. That check can take 20, 30, sometimes 45 days to show up. And if you've already moved, if your mailing address has changed, that check can go bouncing to your old house. People lose track of it. Some folks straight up forget it was ever coming. And think about that for a second. Why would the buyer reimburse you at closing in the first place? It's not charity. The buyer needs that escrow account funded no matter what, right? Either they drop the money into your existing account or they build a fresh one from scratch. Same cash out of their pocket either way. So reimbursing you at the table doesn't cost them an extra dime. It just gets your money to you faster and cleaner. That's the move. So here's the little hack, and this is the whole reason I wanted to do this episode. Get your escrow handled at the closing table whenever you can. Tell your agent, tell your assumption processor. Say, I want my escrow reimbursed at closing, not refunded later. Because a check in your hand at closing is a check you actually get. A check mailed 45 days out to an address you don't live at anymore is a check you'll be calling the servicer about for 3 months. I've seen it happen. So we get ahead of it. When I'm working a seller's assumption, my processor confirms with the servicer up front exactly how they handle the escrow. So there's no surprise and no money slipping through the cracks. That's the stuff that gets lost when nobody's watching it for you. Now I want to clear up one more thing because sellers mix these two up constantly. Your escrow is not your equity. Two totally different buckets. Your equity is what you walk away with from the sale of the house. Your escrow is that separate little tax and insurance fund. They both come back to you, but they're separate. They show up separately, and you should see both. Don't let anybody blur them together or tell you the escrow just got absorbed into the deal. It didn't. It's yours. Let me tell you about a seller we worked with up on the Front Range. Comps on their place were sitting around $585,000. A normal agent lists that thing at $585,000 and just waits. We listed it at $519,000 and marketed the assumable rate hard. Buyers came swarming. We bumped it to $540,000, got a $542,000 offer fast, and the whole thing sold in about 2 weeks. And yeah, when it closed, their escrow balance came right back to them, handled at the table exactly the way it should be. They didn't lose a dime of it. The rate got them the price and the bigger crowd. The clean process got them every dollar they were owed on the way out the door. So sellers, hear me on this. Letting someone assume your loan does not cost you your escrow. That money is yours. It's coming back. And the only thing you've got to do is make sure it comes back the easy way. At the closing table. Not in some mystery envelope 2 months later. If you're thinking about selling and you've got a low rate, let's run the numbers on your place. Go to assumableguy.com or DM me on Instagram at the.assumable.guy. I'll show you what your rate is worth to a buyer, and I'll make sure every dollar that's yours, escrow included, lands back in your hands. No pressure, just math. Next episode, we're flipping back over to the buyers. Can you make extra payments on an assumed mortgage? Short answer, yes. And I'm going to show you how throwing a little extra at that low rate can knock years off the loan and build equity way faster than you'd think. Let's go. I'm Ryan Thompson. This is the Assumable Guy Show. See you on the next one.